So I was working with one of our PT students the other day, and we were working with somebody with low back pain. It was their first visit. He's really bound up between top of his pelvis and bottom of his ribs on the right side of his body, just extremely bound up. He'd had neurological stuff. And so we're doing some manual therapy, and we're working on kind of getting that tissue or that general part of his body to relax. And the PT student was thinking about it in exactly that way. Okay, so we're attacking, what muscle are we attacking here? Okay, well, here's what's in this area. And he's like, okay, so what tool are we using? I was like, I don't really care what tool. He's like, why don't you care what tool? Does cupping work here? Do your hands, the blade? And I was like, I don't think it really matters. And the whole goal here is we need to get this tissue to relax. We need to get this guy's nervous system to relax, get him off of high alert so that we can get him into some of the positions we need to be able to accomplish the movements and get him out of pain. And he sat there and thought about that for a while. He's like, okay, well then how long do you do it? And I said, until it relaxes. So
Keep the goal.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. But that's what I think it comes back to is what's the objective? And I think it's a very different way to think about manual therapy. It used to be, okay, well, it's going to take me 6 minutes and I'm going to use the blade and I'm going to move in this direction with these fibers. But the reality is, if your objective is to get the tissue to relax, sometimes I might try 2 or 3 different things. If it doesn't happen, until it happens, I'm not done. There's an objective. I think it has to be goal-oriented. In the same way, our exercise is extremely goal-oriented and periodized and set perfectly tailored to the goal. Our manual therapy has to be goal-oriented.
Yes.
Yeah. And a ton of that goal-orientedness is to get the tissue to relax,
Yeah.
right? I'd say 80% of our work is get the tissue to let go, where something's tight, something's overly guarded, something's holding on like crazy, and then we want to let that go. So you could do that with many techniques. What we know, like from a nervous system standpoint, what we know is that a prolonged pressure, a relatively deep prolonged pressure, tends to stimulate the Ruffini endings and cause a relaxation of the tissue. And there's many ways to do that. I could do that with an acupressure thing that's been around forever. I could do that with a needle. I could do that with a very slow myofascial release technique. I can do that with an instrument or with a blade and do a very, very slow, prolonged glide through the tissue. There's 5 or 6 things that all accomplish the same thing. My job is to pick the right thing for the right person. If I have a 90-year-old in front of me, I might not choose the metal instrument to go after their tissue because it's a little compromised to begin with, right? But if it's a 16-year-old, a football player, maybe that is the right choice. But even so, it may not be the right choice on the first day. On the first day, I might use more of my hands-on techniques, go with a little softer approach, kind of get a feel for the tissue, get a better understanding of what's going on, connect with the client. Then maybe we make some gains, and on day 2 we go a little bit more like, hey, it's made some progress, I'm good here. Okay, I'm going to use something a little more aggressive today so we can get to the root of this and get a little deeper. And then you progress based again on that interaction and tissue tolerance and state of the system.